everybody. Welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me is Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What is it that is up?
Nothing much, Spaghetti Jim.
Damn
Nothing
it.
much.
I thought when you introduced me as Jimmy that you weren't going to do
an
SJ.
I actually I called you Jimmy, and then I went, but Spaghetti Jim.
Because some people know you as Spaghetti Jim, so we have to...
we have new listeners.
Yeah.
On the streets.
They have to know who we're talking about.
Right?
You're doing my gang
They're
name.
like, Jimmy, who's Jim? Oh, it's Spaghetti Jim. Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
no one
cool.
has ever thought that.
Spaghetti Jim on the streets. It's a new segment.
Welcome to the streets with Spaghetti Jim.
We send you out of the apartment to go ask people, what's your favorite TV? Why? Spaghetti Jim on the streets.
What's your favorite TV? Why? And they're just like,
Who
big
are...
TVs?
Excuse me, sir.
I got a Samsung. Sir? Excuse me, sir?
Well, speaking of TV, we have a listener suggestion today.
Cool.
Now, what we're doing comes from the likes of a person named Thomas.
Tommy.
I'm not going to say their whole name because that'd be weird.
Tom.
Thanks for writing in, Thomas.
But Thomas wrote in at fndlpodcast@gmail.com, just like you can, and made a couple show suggestions. One of them being the show we're doing today, which is Glee.
Okay.
So we're going to do some Glee. We're going to do some singing because that's what they do.
Did Thomas say
Is that
anything
what
nice
they do?
about us in the email, or was it just suggestions?
He did. He said he was a new listener of the podcast, and he's having such a good time, and he asked us to keep up the good work.
Cool. I just like to hear nice stuff about myself.
That seems like that's a high bar.
That'd be pretty harsh if it was just suggestions, like not anything nice. It's just like, hey, do this show.
What's up, my
These
guy?
are the shows
What's
you
up?
will do.
My name's Thomas. Do Glee.
No, Thomas was better than that. He's a loyal friend and true.
Well, he's a good man,
Yeah.
that Thomas.
At Glee fan 69.
So this is
I don't actually know.
that's his
I don't
Reddit.
know I don't know Tommy's Twitter handle.
The unfortunate part is, I bet if you go in online, that is someone's like handle.
Oh, for sure.
Glee fan 69.
Yeah.
That's the year he was born, and he's a Glee fan.
But so episode 71 of First and Last is proof that if you write into us, we will do your suggestion.
Dreams come true. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Just call us the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Don't.
Oh my God. Why?
It's just people just send us emails. They're just like, heal me. Also, you're doing a great
The
job.
Make-A-Wish Foundation doesn't heal people. That's not what they do.
Wait, what?
They
I've been donating money to the wrong organization.
They just like put you into movies and music videos and stuff.
He's writing a check for $500 to Make-A-Wish for
They literally
the cure for cancer.
Every memo. In the memo
the
line.
Make-A-Wish Foundation comes in when you can no longer be healed.
Oh, man.
So
When they say that John Cena's fulfilled like 1 million wishes or something, he's actually not healing people. He's just showing up and being friendly.
yeah,
It's literally just visiting
yeah,
hospitals.
he's hanging out with people. That's what he's doing.
Cool.
Probably body slamming some terminally ill kids.
Hey, that would be amazing.
I don't want cancer to kill me. I
Fun
want
time.
John Cena to kill me.
That's the wish that
That's
he's
the wish.
fulfilling. He's fulfilled 1 million. He's killed 1 million kids.
John Cena's a mass murderer.
Sick kids.
Yeah, he just kills sick kids too. That's the.
Man.
But what a way to go, though.
Your time is up. My time is now.
Wow.
You can't see me. My time is now.
So,
Well,
so Glee,
so
huh?
Glee.
It's the franchise home style in now.
All right, Joe. No more John Cena. We're done with the greatest of all time. All right.
So is Glee? Wait,
Have you seen it all, Jim?
I watched maybe the first season because when it was on, my roommate, like a couple of friends, like we'd come over and like we'd watch it. It was like Glee night, which
The saddest of all
It
nights.
took, yeah. I think I watched basically a whole season and did not get sucked in. But I don't think I was necessarily the target audience. But I guess I don't really know because
Well, it
it's
went
like Pitch Perfect. That's basically the Glee movie version, right?
I mean, maybe I've never seen Pitch Perfect, so.
Excuse me.
Oh God.
I see.
Edit that out.
I didn't get that
Edit
joke.
that out.
So, but Glee went for 6 seasons.
Promise me you'll edit.
No, I won't. 6 seasons,
Say it.
121 episodes. It went from 2009 to 2015. So it's been done for
That's not that long
almost
ago.
4 years.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. And I've seen like a handful of episodes, and I remember thinking it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Well, I mean, it's essentially, I feel like every single episode of Glee is like kids hanging out in a high school doing regular high school dumb stuff, but they're all like sexy kids because obviously everyone in Glee is like 35. But and then twice an episode they sing a song.
Yeah.
So if
Twice an
Usually like
episode?
current pop songs.
I feel like they sing, I feel like they sing
mashups.
like probably 2 times. I would give them 2 times.
At least, yeah.
And I would say if you get an episode where you're like, damn, I liked all those songs,
Yeah.
like that's a good episode of Glee. But if they sung a couple songs that you were like, never heard it, didn't really care for them, like, it's not a good episode of Glee.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
And
that's
it seems like a good idea, and I was surprised that this show had ended because I thought that this show could just like go on forever, like
Perpetually.
yeah, like it's just cheap.
Rotate
like,
in.
You don't need to necessarily have good stories or anything. Just like have some high school drama go on and sing a couple songs. Like
Yeah. It's gold.
yeah, like they keep
Writes
making
itself, right?
keep making like now that's what I call music CDs. Like why can't they keep making Glee?
Did you see? There was a show last season, so it would have been 17, 18. That was like about a high school like putting on a musical. And they put on.
Oh, was that on NBC?
I believe so.
It was like it's supposed to be like
it was
super...
the guy from How I Met Your Mother,
yeah.
right? And
it was like really dramatic.
Super drama, yeah. And they put on Spring Awakening, which is a super dramatic come of age.
I remember seeing like commercials for that or something.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. What's her name? I'm not gonna remember it. She was in White Man Can't Jump.
Marissa Tomei.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie
Perez was
Nice.
in it. And she was awesome.
She's one of the
Speaking of
kids.
Yeah, she's one of the kids in Glee. No, she's like 50. How old do you think Rosie Perez is?
I don't know, but I bet she looks exactly the same as she did in like 1992.
Yeah, she was looking good.
Yeah. Cool.
Not gonna lie to you.
I paid almost no attention to everything you guys were talking about. I was looking up top hits of 2009.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Wait, so you trying to get predictions already?
Well, so here's the deal. I wanted to look at, I only see like 5. And basically, like, I Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas, Owl Cities,
that's gonna be in there.
Fireflies,
Oh, yeah.
and some Pitbull song.
Of course.
The Fray, You
Mr.
Found Me.
Worldwide.
And
Oh,
Kelly Clarkson, My
wow,
Life Would Suck
2009.
Without You.
Mm.
Those are the only ones I can see.
2009. Wow.
Yep, those are all 2009. So what I'm just trying to think of, I mean, obviously they're probably doing top hits, but they are going to hit all the classics. So what songs? Because I know what Glee's about. Essentially, a bunch of nerds.
They got to make it to regionals.
Nerds and jocks and whatnot all get together to be in Glee Club.
Is it like Glee? Oh, so Glee Club, is that like a performance, like you're singing and like dancing, or is this like
I think that's
just choral?
Yeah. I mean,
It's like
I
show
don't know.
choice? What we
Yeah.
call it around these parts?
I
Is that
want to
what Glee Club
say I'm not sure about the actual show, but I know that like the premise of this show was based on like a suburban Chicago high school show choir. Like
Was it from your high school? Were you
no,
in
it was like one of my
Were you in a
friends' high
show choir?
schools, but I gotta like fact check that before I make that claim. So I'll look it up in between.
Okay, but you made the claim.
I made the claim already.
I do
We'll edit
remember
it later.
I do know one song. Sorry, it's the only thing I remember from watching this show besides Jane Lynch, who's freaking amazing. You know, she is super tall, short.
Yep, she's
short
great.
hair lady.
She's in Arrested Development.
She's in a lot of.
She gets her nipples tweaked by George through a prison fence.
It's a great
I
sentence.
think she's in The Fugitive too.
Oh yeah,
She's like a doctor in The Fugitive. I think.
phenomenal movie. Let's
Yeah.
watch that instead.
So the only thing you know.
So I know. Okay,
Classic.
Jane Lynch was number one. Number two. Oh, the one song I remember is that like Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac song that Gwyneth Paltrow sings.
In this show?
Gwyneth Paltrow
She must be in the
sings.
show. I remember it vividly.
Oh.
She must be a teacher or something at some point. I don't know if she's actually like in the show or if she's just in like a couple episodes.
She's just a weird substitute one day.
But what's that Stevie Nicks song? Well, it's Fleetwood Mac song that Stevie Nicks sings.
Doesn't
Saw your reflection in a
Oh,
something,
Landslide?
something. Landslide.
Mm.
That's it. They do a Glee version.
Okay, I could see that.
And it's great.
I bet.
I think Gwyneth is actually singing it.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I'll let you know.
I mean, I think you're right. You got to start off this first episode with some bangers. So like
Yeah,
probably a current hit, probably
Mhm.
a classic, and then
Mm.
something everyone can
Probably
enjoy.
Journey.
So do we got any?
Yeah.
They're not. I don't think they're hitting Journey right
Oh,
off.
Oh,
come
the
on,
why
bat.
they're
not?
hitting some
I'm
Journey.
You
like
think-
almost positive they
think-
do "Don't Stop Believing."
You
Oh
think-
yeah.
I'm sure they do it in
Every
the show,
episode.
but I do not think they're
You don't think
they're
they open
pumping
with that?
it out in the pilot.
We'll see.
That's like saying they're like doing like Michael Jackson, the pilot.
Why not?
If they
Yeah, why
could,
not?
because they can't afford those yet. They have to make money.
Hey,
on
right,
the
he's
show.
alive at the time. R.I.P. Another thing I know about this show, and I only know it because I watch all the Flaro shows, is that a bunch of those Flaro people were in Glee
Weird.
Oh, yeah.
because they had a musical episode like crossover. Because the girl who plays Superwoman, Supergirl is the name of the show.
Yeah, the name is
that I
Supergirl, but
watch,
she is
and I don't
Superwoman
know.
in it. No, just kidding.
She was in it, so she can sing. The guy who plays Flash was in it, and he can sing.
He was in Glee.
He was for sure in Glee.
Was he
Pretty-
the one
I'm
in the
pretty
wheel?
sure.
Was he the wheelchair guy?
What's his name?
Because that'd be ironic if he played the wheelchair guy in Glee,
Now
and
he
then
can
he
run
now he
super
can
fast?
run faster than anybody in the world.
Oh.
I forgot there was a
My.
wheelchair guy.
Yeah, there's a wheelchair guy.
Grant Gustin, I think.
Yep, that's him.
That's not a name that sounds familiar. to me.
I think one of the songs that they're going to sing in the first episode of Glee
Yeah.
is a Backstreet Boys song.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with a band, Backstreet Boy, just straight. What do you got, Joe?
I think.
Give me one guess.
Okay, so I think they're gonna pick something like super current, something super 2009 or 2008. But I think for their throwback, they're not gonna go that far. I think they're gonna do like "Smooth" by Santana.
Yes.
Who's gonna be Rob Thomas?
Yeah, I could see them doing like "I Got a Feeling" by the Black Eyed Peas. Like
That's a good
if
pick.
that had come out at the right
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2009. That's a great Black Eyed Peas time.
Yeah.
Mashed up with Journey.
All right, so Jimmy's going. Jimmy's going Journey
Oh man.
the whole time.
Mashed
Should
up
we-
with John Cena's walk-in theme.
Should we dive into this pilot, see how the Glee Club is probably formed, and find out what songs they sing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. We'll see everybody after the pilot of Glee. And we're back. We're finished the pilot of Glee.
Yeah.
Pea balloons
Yeah.
and all.
Believe that we watched the pilot.
Yep.
Don't stop believing that we watched it, Josh.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy. We'll give you a point.
Fucking right.
They sung Journey. They did it.
Just a little fact check from the first part of the episode is that I was right that the creator of Glee went to Prospect High School in Mount Prospect, Illinois, where a bunch of my friends went. And
Yeah.
and his experience in high school was the inspiration for this show. So shout out to all the Prospect Knights out there.
Big-
What?
Big show choir in the
Yeah,
in
apparently.
the nights.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't go there, but that's what Elaine and Sam tell me,
Hey, Elaine and Sam.
and
Wait.
Rick,
Way to sing your heart out.
Katie,
Or watch people sing their
Brittany,
heart out.
Steven,
You just naming? Are you naming real people, or are you just making names
Sophia,
up? Yeah,
Emma Partridge.
In a pear tree.
Quinn. Thank you, Quinn.
Finn and Quinn.
Jimmy, you got a write up for us about the things that happened, about all the songs they sung.
This is episode 1.
Yep.
Named Pilot.
Correct.
Josh's favorite.
I love it.
Optimistic high school teacher Will Schuester tries to refuel his own passion while reinventing McKinley High's Glee Club and challenging a group of outcasts to realize their star potential. Going up against McKinley's cruel high school caste system and facing harsh criticism from everyone around him, Will is determined to prove them all wrong.
And does he?
And how?
Yeah, this is a real swan song. Will's really crushing it right now.
Yeah, so mostly surrounds Will Schuester, the Spanish teacher.
That was my biggest question from this first episode was who is the main character?
Yeah.
Because they introduced like all the kids in the Glee Club, kind of like as they were.
It's Will, I think.
As they were. Wait, what?
For sure, Will.
He's answering your question.
Yeah,
But go
so
on,
was
please.
it Mr. Schuster? Is it Rachel or is it Finn?
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the only three people that got like this is my backstory that I'm gonna narrate
sure.
for you.
It's between the three of them. So Will Schuester is the teacher.
Yep.
Finn is the quarterback. Who
yep.
Will like tricks into being part of the Glee Club because he like tries to make him think he found drugs on him.
Oh,
or
you
something.
gotta have a cool kid, you know?
Yeah, he spends
Who's,
most of the episode
balancing.
trying to recruit more kids to join the Glee Club. And then Rachel she's like the diva. She's like been a performer her whole life and thinks she's just the best.
Yeah, she uploads videos to MySpace and like singing. So she's like, because 2009 is YouTube back then was when people just watched cat videos. You know,
Yeah.
like that. I mean, YouTube was like, if it's not like a 30-second or less video, no one had any patience for online video back then.
Yeah, people weren't making like regular.
They were making content
Yeah.
essentially, and she was.
There's a lot of stuff uploaded to YouTube that was just like other people's stuff. Like I remember watching episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark on old YouTube.
Yeah, and but
Nice.
she was loading full, like she was recording songs and doing covers and whatnot, and loading them up. So that's who Rachel is.
And no one likes her.
I don't know.
Because she's kind of a bitch.
Well, she's just kind of like full of herself a little bit. But
She's a little intense. I could see other high school kids being like, I'm not gonna talk to that girl. She's kind of crazy.
she's kind of
Yeah.
weird. She's kind of weird. Yeah.
There was a part where someone like threw a drink in her face. That was
my
pretty intense.
God, it was like a full big gulp full of like tomato juice.
It might have been an orange.
Yeah, it was like
Fanta.
orange.
It
Like,
was,
stuck in her face.
but yeah, they just turned around and just boof. And I'm like,
They never really went back to that, huh? It was just like, is it because she's a nerd? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, she's an outcast. She's a social outcast for sure.
Like I thought they were gonna explain about like why that had happened to her, but it was just like, Matt, this is what happens when you're in Glee Club.
Well, so Jane Lynch says like Glee Club is like the very bottom of the social hierarchy in the school.
I could see how there'll be some weird backstory with Rachel that eventually we'll find out that her and like Quinn were like best friends when they were little kids.
Oh, I
Like
could
that
totally see that, yeah.
super duper trope.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening. Quinn, by the way, is Finn's girlfriend. She's also like seemingly the cheerleader captain of
Yeah,
the
she's part of the
cheerleading team.
Cheerios.
She's definitely one of the cool kids.
Is that what they're named?
The Cheerios, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. That's ridiculous. And Jane Lynch is the coach.
Sue.
Sue
She's like very intense also.
Sylvestra.
SS.
So yeah, there's like clearly a cast social dynamic between the kids, but like it seems like there's also like a social dynamic between the adults at the school where like the coaches are like up here and like you guys are trying to start this Glee Club or like weirdos.
Which that is kind of funny, isn't it? Because don't people like just kind of like a social joke in a way is making fun of like the coaches. Like you went to college to become a coach.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So like that's kind of a joke in a way, but in this show like those two coaches are like the leaders. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Maybe not the football coach, but definitely Sue. It
Definitely
seemed
Sue.
like is it because the Cheerios like win stuff? They
Yeah.
made a point about that
Yeah.
about how like the cheerleading squad like wins and like brings money to the school, so like she gets to do whatever
Right.
she wants or like kind of runs the place.
Mm-hmm. She's like dusting off all her giant trophies in one scene.
But it looks like last year was a little dry for them. They didn't get on like Fox Sports or something last year.
Get to regionals.
Yeah. Foxsports.net.
So too bad for them, I guess. Sucks to suck. Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, he spends the episode trying to recruit kids. At the same time, the kids aren't super into it, and then like Will also has stuff going on with his fiance or girlfriend.
oh yeah,
Are they
that's
not
his
married?
wife.
I think
That's his
they were
wife.
married.
Okay,
I think he said they've been married for 5 years,
gotcha.
which I was like, they're so sad right now. How have
And
they been
she's
married for
nuts.
5 years?
So he's got a wife, and she works part time at like the
Sheets and
bed
things.
sheet store.
Sheets and things.
And she's like demanding that he like make more money and like become an accountant.
for her craft supplies.
Well,
Yeah.
and she also works. She's like, I'm so tired. I work 4 hours a day, 3 times a week. And we were like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, your guys are poor. And she's like racking up credit card debt because she's like buying things at like Bed Bath & Beyond or
Pottery
something.
Barn.
Pottery Barn.
Yeah.
And
So-
hiding them in the closet.
So she doesn't seem very nice to him. She seems like she doesn't respect him. Is putting them in more financial debt. And now, according to her, they have a baby on the way.
Yeah.
Which
According to her.
I
That
don't
was
believe.
revealed partway
We're
through.
all pretty sure she's
I don't
a
believe
liar.
that for a fact.
You think there's no baby?
There's no baby.
Oh my
I want
gosh.
to see the stick.
You want me to?
You just like ask
I
for
want her
proof.
to pee in that pregnancy balloon.
pee in that balloon. There was talk about a kid who got pee balloons thrown at him. One of the Glee kids got pee
What's that
balloons
guy's
thrown at
name?
him. I don't remember what his name was. I didn't know him, his name, the other
did
girl
not
in
write
Glee
that
Club.
down.
Well, there was the black girl and the Asian girl. I didn't know either one of their names.
Mercedes
and-
and Tina.
Oh yeah, Mercedes.
I'm sure we get into those
And-
characters, but they didn't have much in this first
And
episode.
wheelchair kid. I didn't know his name either.
Yeah.
Artie.
Artie. Okay.
I know and we kind of blew past how so Will, the teacher, Spanish teacher, is now taking over the Glee Club from the old dude who like was like, we saw like kind of feeling up some kid, and now he just sells medicinal marijuana to
He just sells weed to
the
everybody
football
at school.
coach.
He says he makes 5
And
times
that's
more
what
money
he-
than he did teaching.
Oh, well,
Well, there you go.
I'm sure.
Maybe Will should do that instead
Yeah.
of becoming an accountant.
Yeah, if you got it, sell it at a markup,
Yeah.
That's what I
what's,
always
What's
say.
Claire's deal? Can she get a hold of any medicinal marijuana, or what's the deal?
We don't live in one of those states.
Do we not?
No, it's medicinal in
Yeah, we do.
Minnesota.
Yeah, medicinal.
Who do I gotta ask? I can't sleep at
Um,
night.
Your doctor.
My back hurts. My eyes hurt. What do I
So
gotta
that guy who got fired, I feel like we're probably gonna see him around town as the like clown,
Around
whatever.
town clown.
the around town clown, Brown,
do? Who selling me weed in this town? You gotta go find the round town clown.
and that's and that's Steven Tobolowski, who's I feel like he's just that same kind. He's like a bit character.
He's
in a
the
million
guy.
things.
Like if you would see this guy, you'd be like, "Oh, that's that guy."
He's in Spaceballs. He's like one of the bigger like Spaceball.
He's one of the bigger space balls.
Yeah, he's one of the bigger balls.
He's Sammy Jenkins from Memento.
He's wait. Oh
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
that's where I remember him from.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, so he's not always like a clown. He's in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So in the end, there's a lot of discouraging stuff, but then they all decide to come together for the love of music and doing what you believe
And
in.
the love a journey
and
red
fuck becoming an accountant.
Converse. Yeah, so Will quits the school for a hot second because he's going to be an accountant. because his
Yeah,
wife
he put in
has
his 2 weeks
convinced him.
notice.
He put his 2 weeks notice in before he got another job, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
put in his
pretty
2 weeks notice,
confident.
and then he's filling out applications in the, again, this is 2009, a historically booming time for jobs.
Yeah, how fast does he think that this is?
I mean, he said that they were hiring the place,
I
and he was
guess.
going to go get an accounting
Oh,
job.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
his wife can only get part-time at the sheet shop, so, like, I wouldn't hold your breath, my man.
I don't think she's trying to get full time. I
You
don't
think
know.
she's trying to work full-time?
Yeah, I don't think she's trying to work full time. I think she's trying to be a part-time employee. She seemed like 4 hours 3 times a week was being pretty rough on her. She is
needs
fake.
to get those naps in.
She is potentially fake pregnant in my mind. So
I mean, she's got a lot of glue gunning to do. She's got a lot of glue to gun.
yeah, she's got a lot of shades of Jan from The Office. She's got her own craft room, and Jan has her own candle room.
See that?
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of, I finished British Office.
Oh, you watched it all?
Yeah.
Is that your
That's my Gym Watch 2019
yeah.
segment. Pretty solid.
Liked it?
I can definitely see why. Watching that though, for like the people, I feel like there's like a camp of like UK Office purists. Is that the word I'm looking
Purists.
for? Purists.
Pyros.
It sounds awful coming out of my mouth. Purists.
You say it weird.
Listening or watching that show, listening to this podcast, watching that show makes me want to watch the U.S. Office all the more because it's just a million more seasons of the same dynamics.
Same kind of vibe.
Same vibe.
Yeah.
It's like the U.S. version is just like a more lovable and more seasons UK Office. Because it ends, the UK Office ends and they just get together. You don't see anything after that. It's like you want to know, what's going on. And then Michael Scott is just a more lovable Ricky Gervais. You kind of never really like him in the whole show.
Not
He's
long
kind of
enough
a
to like
douche.
turn around and be
Yeah,
likable.
you're just starting to like him at the in that like finale that we watched.
Okay.
Did anyone else wish that Glee ended right when the guy put his 2 weeks notice in that episode?
Yeah, that would have been an amazing pilot. It's just like,
There's never been a pilot in my mind that has ended on like a really big cliffhanger in a way. Like a
or just like, how do they even continue this show?
whoa, like what's gonna happen? I mean, it's kind of obvious. Like if you think about it, it's like, oh, what just happened in the 10 minutes after that to end this show would have just happened in the first 15 minutes of the next episode.
Sure.
But it would have been like, man, this show was pretty good the whole time. Because like, I mean, this pilot wasn't anything like crazy special, but it was like good.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about the show yet.
Lots of LOLs.
We got to watch the last episode. I'm sure it'll make me mad.
Yeah.
But like it was good. And then he was just like, I quit, and was like, and then scene.
Yeah. I think
big
part of
commercial.
that is that like it just felt like a lot happened in this first episode
Yeah.
that like it felt like, when we were 30 minutes through it, like it could have just ended there and it would have been like a very full pilot, but there was another
And
15
then-
minutes.
And then the way it would have ended up making us want more.
Yeah.
But they had to do their big musical number, guys.
That's true.
That's
They
true.
hadn't
All
done
the-
a big song.
Yeah,
yet.
all the
they
musicals.
held it to the very end. Keep
They
you
did.
watching.
Well, we did see the vocal adrenaline perform
that's true.
Amy Winehouse's Rehab.
That was like a rival high school that they went to go, the kids went to go watch, and they were like blown away.
I
by
like
how good they
Mr.
were.
She right
It was
before he goes.
literally pitch perfect.
He goes, hey, they're like pretty well rehearsed, but I think we're better. And then they went, and it was like, not a chance are you better than this.
You will never beat these
And then
people.
they did, and then at the end of the show they did Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you sung it good, but the performance wasn't. It was like
Yeah, you guys are like wearing t-shirts. Come
we
on.
were in red
fine.
t-shirts and jeans. It was.
Come on.
I mean,
Finn went to go play drums for a little bit.
discount Glee, if you ask me.
And Artie ripped some guitar solos from
Oh,
his
yeah.
wheelchair.
At Claire's school, like show choir is like a big deal there.
Love it.
I went with to like go see one of the show choir shows, and let me tell you, it
Is it
was
pretty lit?
pretty amazing. Like they did this
These kids
Ghostbusters thing.
Go wild.
They did like a Ghostbusters. I don't think it was a medley. I think it might have been just like a Halloween medley or something, but they like ended with Ghostbusters, and there was like a big giant like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man like in the background, like
Yes.
inflatable.
That's nuts.
It was wild.
I want to
Show
go.
choir is like a big deal.
I want to go to a
around here.
show choir, and I probably can only go to the one with you and Claire
You can
because I
show up to
can't
a high
just go
school
to a high school
legally.
I'm just not gonna risk it, man.
There's some like Minnesota schools that are big into show choir, and Wisconsin too.
Well, speaking of show choir, should we dive into predictions?
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
I forgot about that. I thought we were gonna go watch the show.
You're like, oh, let's go watch. You got yourself worked up into the finale. I'll go. I'm gonna do mine first because I feel like they're deserving of number 1 seed.
Cool.
I think Mr. Shu is divorced.
Okay.
From
Mr.
that lady.
Shu.
If he's married again, that doesn't.
Okay.
My assumption
remember
would
her
be I don't know if he does it, but I'm assuming he dates that weird redheaded teacher.
Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dates her at some
Jama
point.
Mays.
Jama Mays.
She's from here. She's in Heroes. She's Charlie in Heroes.
I don't even remember who that is in here.
She's also in the Epic movie
Cool.
spoof.
Way to go. She's must be killing it. Number 2, I think the wheelchair kid, Artie. I think he's dead or gone.
Oh, come on.
Oh man, why wheelchair?
Because he's obviously got some things wrong with him. Maybe he's also sick inside too.
You know what? I'm gonna change one of my predictions. Keep going though.
Did you think Artie could walk? Is that what you wrote?
Spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm changing my prediction to Artie can walk.
Nice.
Dog, there's no way. I think they sing Closing Time by Semisonic.
You think that's the bookend?
Well, they
The
didn't
bookmark?
They didn't sing Closing Time in the first
No,
one.
but I mean like to finish
I mean, it'll
it's
just
finishing the
It's
show.
just the end. Yeah, they're singing Closing Time.
You don't think they're gonna sing that Green Day song that they all sing at every high school graduation?
Time
Time of Your Life.
Yeah.
Hope you had the time of your
Here's
life.
to the night.
And then I
Nice.
think for 4th, I think they win some singing championship finally.
Cool.
Because I feel like
Sure.
this first season isn't the Mighty Ducks. They ain't going and winning state in the first season of this show.
Yeah, it's more like Rocky. They get close or something.
Yeah, and then fucking Ivan Drago beats the shit out of him at the end.
But he went the distance.
You did it, Rock.
Yeah. So I've got Artie walks.
Hey, man, I hope he walks, then immediately dies.
We both get
Wow,
points.
gets hit by a bus, walks into the street.
And that's how Regina George died.
I have Emma is pregnant. And kind of bookends from the beginning to end here. We flash forward to see like an old Mr. Schuster, like maybe like nearing retirement, but he's like an old man. I don't know how it factors in, but I think
Maybe
we see
a Mr. Magooster.
yeah, old Mr. Schuster. And then my last one is that Jimmy cries.
Oh,
like that guy sitting next to me?
I think Spaghetti Jim is moved to tears in this last episode.
Yes.
oh wow.
The best part about it is you think you warned him so he won't, but now it's in his mind.
Yeah. Now he's trying to hold back and he just can't.
And he can't because he's going to cry.
Just some mind games.
Stay tuned for the waterworks, boys and girls.
Yeah, I might have to go after this episode. Okay, my number 1. None of these people are still here. That's my number 1.
None of them?
None?
Even Will Schuster?
Okay, just listen. That's my number 1. My number 2 is Jane Lynch is still here.
The rest of them are, none of these people are here. Jane Lynch is still here. The girl who plays Rachel
I
is
wrote
still
it
here.
down and I was like, and then like whatever scene is happening, I was like, gosh, it's fucking awesome.
Mr. Finn is
Jane
still
Lynch
here.
Is still here. Number 3, Will Shoe Bomb. What's his name?
Schuster.
Is with Emma. She's pregnant and he's put in his 2-week notice.
Oh,
So that's my bookend.
That's the bookend. Does he have a job finally before he quits?
No way. He's filling out applications. That's a sub point. Number 4, I think there's a JT song. I think there's a Timberlake.
Dirty Pop.
When did Mirrors come out?
Might have been around then.
The JT song. That's what I'm
I
sticking
like it.
with.
Cool.
I like it. I could listen to some Justin Timberlake. So we got I'm going a Semisonic song. You're going to a Justin Timberlake song. Joe, do you want to throw a song in just for
Smooth by Santana.
I thought you were gonna say like different, like "Evil Woman" by Santana.
That's ELO, isn't it? Evil Woman.
Well, I guess we'll never know. We'll see you guys after the finale of Glee. And we're done with Glee. We've sang our last song. Glee is over.
Finale time.
They didn't sing that song.
They didn't sing that song or any JT. They sang One Republic instead.
That was a One Republic song, that last one?
Yeah, I lived.
Oh, cool.
I stayed away from One Republic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were big then. The 20 teens.
It's just, it sounded...
We're still in that. We're still in the 20s.
Yeah, they're
I
still
didn't
big.
know what band or song it was, but it did sound very, like, mid-teens, where it's just, like, post Mumford & Sons pop. Just
Four
like,
on the floor and O's.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hear some Lord.
That's what sells. Oh, God.
But yeah, so end show, wrapped up everyone's scenarios essentially.
A lot of people came back, it seemed like, and a lot of characters sang full-on songs.
Yeah.
And that was the show.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy doesn't even have a phone in his hand, so he's not doing a recap.
I mean,
they turned the high school. They turned the high school
No.
into an arts school that now Will Schuester is going to be the principal of.
Well, yeah, because they started off the episode, the first 2 minutes of the episode were them like winning the state championship or something like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then he gets sit down by that superintendent guy.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "We're gonna make you an art school," because we thought kids were just gonna do good with learning math, but instead they should learn how to sing.
So this penultimate episode then was the big like state finals, and then they didn't let you know who won at the end of that episode.
Probably just ends with their big performance or something.
Do you think that was the first like state title that they won then? Like this whole time they've been trying to win state?
Nah, I bet they won tons.
I bet they've won.
Time.
I bet they've won other things, but I would say this is the first time they win state.
They won state.
All right.
Is Ohio even a good state for like high school music?
Ohio.
Who even knows?
Oh
no, this was nationals because they had like groups from like
that's right.
They had groups from like South Carolina.
It was
or
nationals.
Something. Yeah,
for sure. The first time they won nationals, I feel like.
Yeah. So everybody gets a song. They do the thing where they flash forward 5 years with each character to the show where they're at.
Mercedes is on tour with Beyonce. The one guy that we know from the pilot and now has a boyfriend who seems like has been on the show for a very long time as well.
The gay guy from the first episode.
Yeah.
Kurt is his name.
Kurt.
Which, now I can't even say the gay guy because it seems like he's like just one of a few gay characters. But Kurt is dating, what's the other guy's name?
I don't know, but he had dope pants.
That guy, pants. Like the actor's name is Darren Criss, and I only have his name in my head now because he just won a Golden Globe on Sunday.
For what?
The American Crime Story, like the Gianni Versace one. Like he played Andrew Cunanan. Yeah. So yeah, he just won and like I feel like my takeaway from this show is like probably not gonna watch this show, but I'd like to like hang out with that dude. Like he's got like always dope clothes. He's got a really great. I think I like his voice the most, even more than Rachel's. And like
Kurt or Darren Criss?
Darren Criss, whatever his character's name is.
He's the guy who was the bad guy in the Flareoverse musical.
I thought you were gonna say the bad guy in Glee, which would have made me like him even more. If there's somehow like an evil Glee club
antagonist.
Well, he could have started off like Power Rangers, where he was like the evil Green Ranger.
He gives me
sure
Green
Jane
Ranger
Lynch
vibes.
is
for
the
sure.
only bad guy in Glee.
That would be amazing if he was like a Green Ranger, like he was like really good at singing but would refuse to join the Glee club.
Well, he probably belonged to a rival school.
Yeah, you gotta have.
But then he found out his parents were moving across.
You gotta have
lines.
a bad boy, you know. You gotta have a Riggins
or Adam Banks, or what's his name in Ducks.
Adam Banks
Banks.
joins the Ducks, but
works.
he was from the bad team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
he's kind of the Piccolo, huh? But he's an apprehensive Piccolo.
Jimmy doesn't
Adam
understand
Banks?
what Piccolo is.
yeah, sure.
Well, he's a bad guy that is on the good guy team, but he doesn't
not of
want
his
to
own
be
choice.
there
Yeah,
until like the last game,
Yeah.
basically.
So another thing about Darren Criss is he wrote the song that was Rachel's like big song.
Oh.
Because the song she sang was called This Time, and I was like, I don't recognize this song at all.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it's an original song that he wrote for the show for her
Wow.
to sing. Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
I
So
guess
that was probably like the only like original song on the show, right? Like it's all just covers, I thought.
I mean, that's what I assumed because, like,
Yeah.
why would you want to watch a bunch of original music
Yeah, right?
with a show that would just do pop's culture great?
Yeah, I felt
whole-
like the attraction of the show was like, well, I'm gonna hear some fucking Madonna. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
get 2 real good songs every episode.
Yeah.
They better
Probably
not be
not-
originals.
And some quality acapella mashups. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
There for the mashups, man.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess 6 years in, they probably go, I bet this Rachel girl can probably kill an original song. We'll give it to her.
Yeah, they wrote that song in like season 2, and he keeps pushing it every year. And they're finally like, fine.
She's not ready yet. She was only in Les Mis twice. She's not ready yet.
I was trying to look up some people like what they're doing now, and she was just in a show last year called The Mayor that seems like it's canceled to never happen again. That was like a hip hop guy who runs for mayor. You remember this?
Because I think the girl from Community plays the mayor's mom, right, or something like that.
What girl from
Shirley?
Community?
Shirley from Community, I think, is the mayor's
Oh,
mom.
okay, yeah.
I remember seeing commercials for that. Yeah.
So yeah, he runs for mayor just to like push his mixtape, but then he like accidentally wins, and then like the show.
Yeah, he's like a
ensues.
kid. He's like a high school kid or something. Like
Yeah.
I think I've never
And
seen
then,
the show.
and then they canceled.
I've never heard of the show, so
Yeah.
sounds like it could be silly.
Sounds like Hulu might pick it up. I don't know.
I'm actually intrigued on your like where are they now, because I feel like for some of them gets pretty
yeah.
bleak.
Yeah. Well, that was like that Kurt dude so I started looking them up because like I didn't think any of these people, I was like one of my predictions, I don't think any of these people would still be in this show by now. Like all these people were graduated, but they're just still around inexplicably.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you watched the show, you'd know why people have gone and come back.
Everyone that watched the show was like, "Wait, why is Kurt back? This is weird." And they were in the same place we
Apparently
were.
Finn died.
Yeah.
Drop that bomb.
Yeah,
Oh.
Joe, halfway through, we're like, "Oh, where's Finn?"
Yeah.
Joe's like,
Oh, did you
"He's
not-
dead?"
Did you not actually look up this stuff?
I looked up
Some of them?
Rachel, whose name is Leah Michelle, and she's just in a couple shows. I feel like she probably kind of killed her Broadway career a little bit by leaving it to do this show and then never doing anything else.
I bet she
real.
could go back to Broadway real quick if she wanted to.
Yeah, that's probably true. Then I looked up Kurt, and he seems like he's just done nothing. He's just doing nothing.
Kind of surprised by that.
He's getting those Glee residuals.
Who would have guessed that? I mean, I guess I haven't seen the show, but who would have guessed that like Darren Criss, the guy who's like guy number 5 on this show, like would have been the guy that wins the Golden Globe in a few years.
Yeah, he seems like he's the biggest star that come out of this show.
I mean, I don't know what Jane Lynch has been in since Glee, but
She's definitely a person.
she's
People know her.
definitely
People,
a name,
Yeah.
and you know who she
I
is.
kind of feel like she's America's Judi Dench.
America's. I don't even know what that means, but like it kind of makes sense.
Dame Jane Lynch.
If we had a dame,
Yeah.
if we could like
No,
lady night people in
It
the
would be
US,
Meryl Streep.
It'd be Meryl, closely followed by Glenn Close,
It's not
and
like-
then long
Oprah.
distance Jane Lynch.
It's not like poet laureate. You can knight more than one person.
Well, yeah, I'm just mean if the U.S. did that,
Meryl
which
Streep,
we should. Why
then
don't we?
Oprah, then Martha Stewart, then
You're
Think
not gonna.
Martha would get a pardon already?
She's been in jail.
yeah, and back, man. She's America.
That's a good point.
That song that Childish Gambino
It's
wrote,
actually
"This Is
about-
America."
It's about Martha Stewart.
That's about Martha Stewart,
It's a
man.
tribute to Martha.
Oh man, you think Martha's gonna be at Bonnaroo?
Oh, Martha is Bonnaroo.
Contraband, contraband, contraband.
Too real.
Yeah. Okay, you sold me. I'd knight Martha Stewart.
Wow. I'll tell you what else I did look up though was a lot of these.
I might knight Jane Seymour. She's a medicine woman.
Oh, for a second there,
she-
I didn't know who that was.
She's
I
like from
gotcha.
the U.S. She's not from the U.S. though.
I'd
She's
still-
definitely British.
I'll
I'm
still
pretty
knight her.
Okay.
I mean, she was in a James Bond, but I guess that doesn't necessarily mean she was British.
She's like a British Jane Lynch.
Like a Judi Dench. You mean
Fuck you. Okay, so there's a million like 3 to 6 episode like actual stars in this.
Oh yeah, because you were saying earlier that there's a lot of people who dropped in for like.
Yeah, I was remembering specifically Gwyneth Paltrow. She was in 5 episodes.
Okay.
It felt to me like she was a big part of the show.
Who else we got?
Then we got Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh,
was in
okay.
it for 3 episodes. John Stamos
Ooh.
was in it for 4 episodes. Dr.
You think they sung like an Uncle
Dr.
Jesse
Carl?
song?
Oh, man, I love it. Dude.
Man.
Or they
Couldn't
probably
tell you one.
or they probably just sung a Beach Boys song.
Same difference.
Because it's the same.
Yeah.
Demi Lovato, Adam Lambert, who's it?
He was the American Idol guy,
American
right?
Idol.
Yeah.
And then Josh Groban was in too. Kate Hudson was in it for 5 episodes.
For some reason, I feel like Josh Groban's pretty funny. I have no reason to think that, but
Yeah.
was he in Parks and Rec or something?
Yeah, he's in like something. He's either
Something
that
funny?
or 30 Rock.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like
Was it The Office? Wasn't he in
see,
the...
just name it.
I think he's at
Was
the...
it The Good Place?
It's quite possible Josh
Maybe it was
Groban's been in.
I
Cheers.
just saw him on a sitcom and
Is he in Arrested Development?
I feel... Okay, god damn it. Okay, Kristen Chenoweth, who I feel like is
that
also
sounds
kind of in
familiar,
everything.
but who is that?
She's in everything. She was in The West Wing.
Okay.
Stop. No one knows who's in the West Wing.
God damn it. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg was in
Whoopi.
this show for 6 episodes.
I like that.
I
you
can't
said,
imagine
I
what
like
that
that
would
you-
even be.
I like that you said Goldberg was in this episode, and I was like the wrestler, and you're like no
Bill
Whoopi.
The wrestler
Goldberg?
or the Mighty Ducks. Gold.
5-time champion Bill Goldberg.
You were just referencing because every time I see that kid who played Goldberg, the goalie in
Every
Mighty
time?
Ducks.
Yeah.
How many times you see
I
Goldberg?
just watched the 1995 movie Heavyweights,
Ah,
which is about kids going to fat camp.
so every
And,
time Heavyweights is a very underrated film.
It's amazing. Heavyweight tangent really quick. Number one, we were watching it, and then that kid pops up, and I go, "That's Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks." So immediately, I'm back into Heavyweights from 23 years ago or whatever. So we're watching it, and Ben Stiller is the bad guy
Oh, right.
in it,
He's like the camp counselor.
and he has the best scene potentially in any movie I've ever seen in my entire life. 'Cause I forgot about it. He is standing in the rafters of a building at the end because he's like the bad guy, and he's like, "I am super powerful and you can't defeat me. I keep getting stronger." And then he does like a backflip onto the ground, which is ridiculous. And then he's not wearing any shoes, so he's barefoot, and he just grabs glasses off the table in the thing, and he smashes the glasses on the ground, and then he steps on it with his bare feet. All the while he's like talking about how he like can't be defeated and there's nothing they can do, and he just every time he steps, he's like, "Oh no, ow," because he's obviously just a regular guy.
Right.
He's just pretending to be. He does it like for like 5 or 6 glasses, just smashes a glass on the ground and walks on it. Oh, it's amazing.
I don't remember that at all.
I didn't remember it either.
I remember very little from Heavyweights.
I watched
Wasn't
it.
also the big like red-headed freckled kid from like Sandlot and like
No,
Big Green in that movie?
no.
It's just another
you're
big,
talking, yeah,
big
yeah. You're
kid?
talking about that. Like, yeah, I know who you're talking about. No, he wasn't in Heavyweights.
Also,
Oh,
Jeff
Goldberg.
Goldblum was in this show.
Nice. That's cool.
Jeffrey Goldblum.
Goldblum and
Sir
Goldberg.
Jeff Goldblum? Has he been knighted? He's not British. And the U.S. doesn't have a
We
knighting
don't have
system.
it's pretty fucked up that we don't have a knight system.
It's terrible. Donald Trump, you're fucking ridiculous.
He would be super into knighting people.
Yeah, right. I mean, if there's one good thing that could come out of this guy's presidency, it'd be the fact that we could have a knighting system. Because he's a fucking.
Had he run on that platform, I might have voted.
I promise you, knights. Okay.
There's two things I'm gonna do when I'm president.
It's ridiculous.
Number one, we're gonna build a wall. Number two, knighting. I'm gonna knight a bunch of people. I'm gonna knight them all. I love to knight people. I've been doing it my whole life.
We have the best knights.
We're gonna have the best knights.
We're gonna have the best knights.
The United Kingdom says they got good knights. We're gonna show them we got gooder knights.
If that was a tweet, every time he typed knights, it'd just be without the K.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we would just be like, okay, I know what you mean.
Just NITE. Possibly a silent G. Just to...
Oh, man.
Our poor country.
Just pour one out for it.
What else you got, Jimmy?
was that the end of the guest
the
stars?
list?
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
It's impressive.
It's a good thing. I mean, I know I didn't watch it, but like I know there was a point in like 2010, 11 or whatever, like the second or third season. I think this show was like big as hell, and I'm surprised like there isn't like huge like really big pop stars like Gaga or like Spears.
Mm-hmm.
Usher.
I mean, I'm surprised it
You
ended
know?
in 2014. Like 5 seasons.
I
Like,
feel like you just
how many
wanted this
dumb
to be.
shows keep going on beyond 5 seasons?
This is true.
Very
I just
true.
assume you want this to just like end up being almost an anthology
6
show.
seasons.
Yeah,
Like,
why not? Like,
Every single season is just a different new, what are they called? The New Directions.
the
Yeah.
new directions.
I mean, it would have worked if like every
season is a
season was
new
essentially just a
direction.
new Directions group
Sure.
in that school. You
They-
could have kept like Mr. Shoe.
I mean, at a
there must
certain
have been
point,
an audience drop off or something, or I
Yeah.
don't know.
That would make sense, but also like, how long can you keep those? I mean, so
As
like,
long as
kids
pop
kept,
music
like,
is being made,
graduating.
Jimmy, you can do.
no, you can still, but you got to have characters, and all their like main characters. It seemed like were still the original people.
Yeah.
You got to start bringing in new kids with new drama to rope the new generation into. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're just graduating
It
characters.
is hard to do with a show like this because you need people that can have talent.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
act.
and longevity.
Not that
you know?
acting's not a talent, but you need people to be able to act and sing and potentially dance.
Like,
you know?
so this Rise show that happened last year, that was literally the same thing. This this new guy wanted to be the Glee Club guy or whatever musical the director, and so he's like fighting to be the musical director, and then they put on a show, and then at the end of it you're like, well, can they have another season of this? Because like some kids are graduating, like they're just gonna start over with a new musical. Like to do a high school show, it's got to be pretty tough beyond like 4 years or whatever of high school, you know?
Yeah.
Because
I
all your
agree.
characters are gone.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another reason why they use people that are like 25 to be in high school shows so they
Right.
don't like age out.
Right. If you were smart as a writer, like you'd have characters like in the wings, right? To you set up a season, and then the next year you start developing characters, and the next year you start developing
It would
characters
be
so that
pretty-
you can age characters out and keep going.
It would be interesting if they had like a school show where it was like something they did that they had the cast and then in the hallways they would like pass kids essentially and talk to them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like what like George would be like, yeah, hey, what up, George? You know, like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's just like a nerdy kid. And then the next season, he was like one of the main characters.
Yeah.
The other,
Work them in.
yeah, and they work him in like that. I don't think shows have ever done something like that.
Hmm.
I've come up with something. $1 million idea. Hit me up, CBS.
Check out first season of Pie World.
Pie World.
Check out our character development skill.
Dusk and Dawn running Pie World.
Just been doing some mild research, and so like really the reason that this show ended, I mean the ratings probably went down, but like you have to have a showrunner to run it, and Ryan Murphy was the executive producer who was like running the show, and he just like clearly had other things to do because he went on to create American Horror Story.
He was into some darker stuff.
Yeah, like he clearly had other things he wanted to do.
He was like, I want to get weird with Rachel. And they're like, no. They're like, no, absolutely not.
And then, yeah, he went on to do both of those American crime stories, the People vs. OJ and the assassination of Johnny Versace, which Darren Criss is in. So maybe that was the connection of getting him into it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
Makes a lot of sense.
What year did that guy who played Finn die? I'm just wondering if that was near the end of the show too, because I mean, obviously one of your like main characters dying for real is probably something.
He died in July 2013. So midway through.
I mean, no, that was four and a half years in.
Okay, yeah.
And the show ran for 6 years, so I mean, he was over halfway.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they probably try to save it. I mean, it was probably a pretty rough 5th season.
Sure, yeah.
You know? I mean, who knows, but that stuff's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Walker died. Fast and Furious never be the same, you know?
Yeah, that was weird.
Which part?
Where they like made the rest of the movie without Paul Walker and just sort of had his weird floating face hanging out.
Paul Walker ghost.
And then they made another movie, and that was even worse.
But he wasn't like, that's the crazy thing. He wasn't dead. They were just like, well, I mean, hey,
yeah, they're like, yeah, Brian left.
Brian's gone. He's just hanging out.
Brian's out.
Also, I mean, they're making a whole nother Star Wars movie, and Princess Leia is in it.
Also weird. Like, why even?
Because she didn't die in the last one.
Like, also weird. Why didn't she just die?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like it's disrespectful. Like, you're dead, so we're not going to kill you off. I don't know.
I feel the opposite.
I feel like,
I mean, they're gonna do some
I feel like
shitty
in
CGI like they've been doing.
in Pie World, when we sign contracts with all the actors,
Yeah.
the contract is if you die in real life, you die in the show.
If you die, you die.
It's like the Matrix. If you die in real life, you die in the show. That's what Pie World's gonna be like. Just saying. Hey, let's get down to some predictions.
Okay.
Some predictions.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just sorry. I was just messing with it.
You would stop the tape, and now it's just for your own pleasure.
Did you want to be done?
Just for us. Let's just do it. Someone read the predictions because I have to run into the other room and grab my piece of paper.
All right, I can go first. I had that Emma is pregnant, which she had a baby. She was not currently pregnant.
Yeah.
So does that not count? I should have said like had a child.
She once was pregnant.
I said that Artie walks, which Artie was in the episode rolling around. He did not get up and walk. I feel like maybe he can walk and he just chooses not to. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I mean, if he can walk, you mean the actor, then I believe you.
I feel.
It's a choice for him. The technology in the Glee universe has like advanced that far. I have that we have a flash forward to see old Mr. Schuester. There's a lot of flash forwards to 5 years ahead in this, but like he didn't look aged. If they would have like given him a little gray in their hair, I think I would have argued for a point.
I totally looked at his hair.
Yeah. I didn't see
It
it.
looked exactly the same.
And then I have that Jimmy cries, which I don't know. He must
It wasn't really a tearjerker for me.
It wasn't a tearjerker for us, but like the characters in this show were like crying in every song.
Yeah. They're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, Rachel wouldn't give up. This is like, geez, we get it. It's the last episode.
She was still far and away the best singer. in
Yeah,
this.
it's pretty wild.
It was like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much of a contest there.
I wonder if that was in her contract or something. That was just like,
I'm gonna upstage everyone.
You cannot have anyone like anywhere close to as good as a singer as I am.
I don't think she was in danger of that.
Mine are Mr. Shu is divorced, probably dating that weird redhead. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're dating.
Yeah, they're married.
He clearly got divorced.
So I am gonna get that point because he definitely divorced his first terrible wife. We didn't get any. I mean, they had kids.
Yeah.
But I still want to know whether or not that lady had a kid or not. His first wife.
His first wife?
Yeah.
Yep, I mean, probably, right?
I don't think so. I still don't think so.
We'll find out next week on
I think Wheelchair Kid was
Glee
dead or
Watch.
gone, and Artie was very much
He was there.
He was there.
Super
Yeah.
He wasn't playing rad guitar anymore, but he was there.
No.
He could, though, if he wanted to.
Yeah. He wanted to.
It's all in Artie's hands.
I thought they might sing Closing Time by Semisonic. They did not.
No.
Bummer. Well, whatever. They probably sung it at some point during the show, though.
Oh, my gosh.
So no points for that. And they win some singing championship, and they did that immediately.
Right away.
I'm so glad they saved it for the last
They
episode.
hoisted a trophy within like 30 seconds of the episode.
I was like, because right away, because they did it so fast. Joe said it, and I believed him for a second. He was like, "Oh, this is like a dream, right?"
Yeah, I thought it was a dream sequence,
and then it obviously wasn't.
and then they just continued the episode.
Yeah.
It was just a hangover from the latest.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like how so I've been plowing through Game of Thrones. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit here.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Because I want to
Peter
say right
Dinklage.
now, before I even say my predictions, that I think I want to get into this show.
Okay.
And I think part of the reason for that is that I've been watching a lot of like Game of Thrones, which is mostly death and sad. I started watching The Strain.
Yeah.
I went back and started, which is also very heavy, also very awesome.
Okay.
It is a good show. And maybe that's why I want to watch Glee so bad. But anyway, what I was going to say is that I really have started to love how in Game of Thrones, the real finale, the climax,
It's like the
just
second
like
to
in a
last.
book is like it's the second to last,
Mhm.
and then the last episode's like the conclusion,
Mhm.
ties up a lot of stuff. A lot still happens. There's still a lot to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs.
But a lot of musical numbers, a lot of journey, but like all the stuff happens. So I wish they would have, if you're gonna have a big Win Your Nationals episode, like what did that add to the beginning of this episode?
Oh,
Except for a point for Josh.
So here's the thing
They
that
did so much concluding.
So here's the thing. So those were two completely different episodes. They weren't part one and they weren't part two. The penultimate was named like
Sure.
We Singin'.
Oh,
and
but were they aired the same
They were
night?
aired on the same day.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So based on
So we
based
waited
on first and last rules, we didn't have to
2.5 minutes of commercials to find out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
so based on
Biscuit.
first and last rules, we didn't have to watch both episodes because they weren't a two-parter. But because they were on the same, even though they were on the same night, but because they're on the same night, it makes sense why they did that. You didn't have to wait a week. You had to wait 5-10 minutes.
So you knew that going into this. So your prediction.
No, I got a wiki here now, brah. A wiki while we record.
We can hear now, bro.
Yeah, brah, I got wiki right here.
Oh my god. Okay, so my first prediction was that none of the people are still there.
Wrong.
Totally incorrect.
Wrong.
Number 2, Jane Lynch is still here. Correct.
I like that you said nobody's here. Jane Lynch is here.
I was too lazy to scratch stuff out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Actually, I scratched out that none of these people, and then I wrote like students because I thought they'd be graduating. I was like, nah, and then I scratched that out and wrote people again.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you mean by these people?
I meant racial.
I meant racial.
Oh wow.
I meant.
Oh wow.
I just meant Artie.
I wish that wheelchair boy would have been dead or gone.
No way. I
He
feel
was-
like if you're gonna have a.
I feel like he was great. He might be one of my favorite characters in the show.
His
Seeing-
facial expressions in the first episode, like, did he have any dialogue? I don't know, but his
I don't think
face
he's-
is
I don't know.
hilarious.
He chilled and then he shredded on some guitar in that first step. So
Yeah.
Or number 2 or 3 or whatever. Will is with Emma. She's pregnant and he's put in his 2-week notice. That was way too specific of a
I mean,
prediction.
in a way, so
He
Will
changed jobs.
Will was with Emma
He's got a
and he
baby.
is changing jobs.
Huh?
So I'd give you 0.66.
Yeah, not
Shit.
full points.
How
Not
about
full credit.
0.666?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure, repeat it.
It's more than point. Yeah. Can I do repeating?
Yeah. Point
Number 4, JT song.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Just a One Republic.
And by JT, I meant One Republic. Right?
I actually had to look up because I was like, does a band like One Republic really even write their own songs? And they have like a producer that like must like co-write all their hits, but like the like lead singer of One Republic had a credit on the song, this particular song. So
Great.
Somewhat surprised by that.
Fair enough. So how many points did you get there, Jamie?
Well, with Journey,
Yeah.
I got 2.6.
With we even said it wrong. Get 2.666 repeated.
Yeah, repeating.
Well, I put the line over.
Oh, okay.
Like
I got
math.
0 unless I can really just like break Jimmy's heart in the next few minutes here.
Oh God.
Just make him cry.
Oh God. Oh God, no.
I'll be honest. I got time.
Jimmy, this right here is the peak of your life. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Huh. It's been okay.
Well,
In all fairness, most of Jimmy's life up until this point, he didn't expect to be living this long.
Jimmy,
I thought I'd be dead.
we're
by
probably never gonna have nights in America.
now. God, that is sad.
Yeah. It's mildly heartbreaking, to be honest.
Ugh.
All right, well, that's fine. So Jimmy's going to keep watching Glee,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah,
Tell
for
us
sure.
how it is.
Thanks again to Thomas for bringing us on this journey.
We
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Tom.
It was a good show. I have no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Last episode wrapped everything up.
Yeah,
First episode
very much so.
confused me on who was the main character.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Rachel.
Could be still.
Good show. Will I watch it? No, probably not.
Yeah. Solid open and closing though.
Maybe I'll look up, like, I wonder if there's a guide online that tells me what songs were sung on what episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for sure.
Somebody was bored during the age of the internet, right? And did all that?
I mean, there's websites you can go to like just find out what songs were like played in the background of episodes.
Yeah, so.
And I'm forgetting what one I use for that. But
So maybe I'll look at that website and go, oh, okay. Yeah.
Try to find closing time.
I like Closing Time by Semisonic. It's not my favorite song. It seems like I'm just all about it. But hey, everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of First and Last. We appreciate you. If you want to rate us, go to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and hit that star rating or thumbs up or, smiley faces or whatever they do. And if you would like to request us to watch a show, have a comment, want to give Joe a compliment or anything like
Compliment
that.
us first.
Yeah.
that way we'll be sure to read it.
Joe will
We
be-
delete a lot of emails that are just hate.
Thomas is not the first
Trolls.
person that has asked for Glee, but he's the first person that has complimented us and asked for Glee. But if you would like it to submit some show suggestions to us, hit us up at fnlpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter, stuff like that. Cool. Well, hey, have a good week and sing your heart out, guys. Bye.